Namaskaram friends, welcome to Manchi Margam channel. Today in this video we will discuss about a state which was virtually infertile or sterile. It has no natural resources, nor any purpose which can make or which can popularize it as a forward-looking state. Today, the purpose of making this video is to educate the North Indian people who have invested and who are willing to invest into Hyderabad real estate. We will also talk about people, especially Muslim population, which are in dire state in the state of Telangana. The Muslim population is the most backward population in the state of Telangana and in India. This backward batch of population, which managed to send their sons and daughters to green pastures in Gulf countries like Qatar, Oman, Saudi, Kuwait, and many other Muslim countries, especially Gulf regions, to earn money which can sustain their families back in India. These two classes, especially the North Indian ones who are willing to invest in Hyderabad, and the native Muslim population which has migrated to Gulf countries seeking employment and reinvesting their hard-earned money back in India into Hyderabad's real estate. There is a third batch of population called American NRIs, especially Telugu NRIs, who have helped the previous government to create this mess, and in turn their whole investment now is in mess and risk. We'll keep aside this Telugu NRI population and make these two batches, that is North Indian population and Gulf NRIs, to understand the real situation in Hyderabad. The North Indian people who have migrated to Hyderabad temporarily for jobs in software sector or IT sector or related sectors, they are being misled into a fairy tale world in which the Hyderabad real estate looks promising when they compare with Mumbai or Gurgaon real estate. The difference between Gurgaon real estate, Mumbai real estate, and Hyderabad real estate, and you compare with Chennai real estate and Bangalore real estate, the Hyderabad is way apart from all these 4 to 5 real estate hubs which are lucrative to invest. The problem with the North Indian population or a population from Maharashtra, especially Mumbai, and people from Gujarat, and especially North Indian belt people who have migrated to Hyderabad seeking temporary jobs in IT sector or call centers. Naturally, they found the climate in Hyderabad, which is what I can call is reasonably better than Delhi climate or a Mumbai sultry climate. And the rest North Indian states which have a security problem or a problem of not being in sync with the technology, latest technologies. When especially North Indian population finds that in Hyderabad and South, especially in South India, they can find partners in technology or lifestyle which is in sync with technology. Means they will find an educated population all over in South India. But they lack this thing in North Indian belt, which is often called a cow belt. The peaceful climate and the practical climate, which is rains, winter and summer, is practically better than the North Indian belt or Mumbai belt, or you see northeastern Calcutta belt. When North Indian population got a reasonable logic to stay in Hyderabad, the notorious Hyderabadi real estate goons have already prepared enough ground for this North Indian population to get trapped in this Hyderabadi real estate mess. Practically, North Indian population can be seduced easily by showing off a lifestyle related living like gated communities, villas, which gives them enough privacy which North Indians seek. When you see the North Indian population which is highly nuclear, this Hyderabad real estate industry found a golden goose in the form of North Indian population, which is always nuclear, and they are independent by themselves. So, using this independence and the nuclear nature of North Indians, and they compared the Hyderabad real estate with Gurgaon and Mumbai real estate, especially Navi Mumbai real estate. And Jaipur and a Gujarat real estate is far behind in the form of a technology-led population which gives a sense of security to the North Indian people who work in IT industry. They want IT friends all around. They want the same people who speak the same language as IT people do. They want facilities for a couple who don't want to spend their valuable time traveling and cooking. North Indian people have got zero knowledge about the past and the history of Hyderabad. The Hyderabad which they see through the eyes of drones and through marketing videos, sales videos, and the gimmicks which these videos do to attract the North Indian population was successful in last 3 to 4 years. The native population and the Telugu NRI population were active in the initial 4 years of BRS regime. But in the second term, seeing the form of governance that the BRS did in the final lap of 5 years, the Telugu population got a whiff of the impending danger. Most of the Telugu population which invested in the initial years got alert and trimmed down their investment, especially in real estate, especially around Hyderabad. Seeing this falling trend, the real estate people have changed their marketing strategy and sales strategy in a big way. When they have seen that the Telugu NRIs and the local Telugu people, the natives of Telangana, were getting reluctant to invest into the 300% inflated real estate, what these real estate goons of Hyderabad did was amazing. They changed the language totally. The language was changed especially for North Indian population and the people who are still investing from the Gulf region. The problem that the builders faced was horrible. The initial investment that the Telugu NRS made these builders believe that the demand will sustain for next 15 to 20 years, even though the native population of Hyderabad has no power to buy these properties with their annual income, and the American NRIs were reluctant to buy these properties at inflated rates. They were clearly seeing the downtrend in Hyderabad real estate. That's why the real estate people have changed the language of sales and marketing from Telugu to English. They have not only changed the language from Telugu to English, but hired some North Indian Hindi channels, and they made some videos in Hindi which targeted uber rich migrated Muslim population. Meanwhile, the situation in Hyderabad real estate become horrible to worst, and it was dilly-dallying from horrible to worst, worst from horrible. And the traditional investors like Telugu NRIs were reluctant, and the native population was dead against paying those inflated prices. The North Indian people were a simple lame duck targets. The drone visuals, which I can call as a masterpiece, and the visuals in their ads which projected the person who will buy these properties as an elite guy who is able to afford, who is willing to afford a large sum of money without considering its practical value. They projected the buyer as a person who spends like hell for the lifestyle he wants to enjoy. Meanwhile, the top 5 to 10 real estate firms, which were known names in Hyderabad real estate, were playing a dirty game of targeting customers which the batch of customers had little knowledge about the history of Hyderabad and the progress of Hyderabad. The visual excellency and the visual masterpiece in those ads is such that even a normal person will get seduced by these ads. And the North Indian population is the weakest and the most vulnerable. When North Indian IT sector people got attracted to Hyderabad real estate, they were not aware of impending danger that is waiting for them in the form of real estate which is built on illegal lands. The top 10 real estate entrepreneurs of Hyderabad did a beautiful PR exercise which made them popular in North Indian belt. They managed to pull DLF from Gurgaon, Godrej from Mumbai, Prestige Group from Bangalore, and gave a cosmopolitan picture to the Hyderabad real estate scene. In order to market the bulging buildings which were built not on par with the growing population, but the buildings you are seeing now and the flats which are available will be enough for next 20 to 30 years without taking up further projects. Means the flats and high rises built in Hyderabad are more than enough to sustain the growing population for next 20 to 30 years. Means a 20-year advance inventory was built in Hyderabad by mistake. Practically, the real estate industry wanted to seduce and mislead the buyers of native and NRI population. But in turn, they got misled by the demand, and the demand research which was done by some idiots, and builders of Hyderabad were misled into the data which said that if you build so and so properties in so and so area, they will be lapped up like hotcakes. And everyone believed this story. Even the most intelligent real estate firms got into this stinky mud of real estate research. The most of the stink which is emanating at present from the real estate scene can be attributed to the last ruling regime of BRS. The whole development drama has been sculpted, has been not scripted, it has been sculpted by IT Minister K.T. Ramarao. The aura and the beauty of this, what is called fraud, virtual fraud, was started by the IT minister himself. He was Minister for IT and Urban Development. He has both ends in his hands, and he made everyone dance like a puppet with the strings attached to his both hands. He used his language skills like English language and his place in government to seduce people to invest into real estate. He could not seduce people to invest in Telangana in the form of industries, in the form of IT. Whatever the IT sector has invested in Hyderabad was natural investment which was made because of its growing educated population like IT graduates, computer graduates were coming out of college in droves and they needed employment. And the foreign firms saw this as an opportunity and invested in Hyderabad. The investment was not due to the KTR's strategy, but it was a natural choice of IT firms to invest in and around Hyderabad because the growing and the bulging engineering graduates naturally were desperate to IT jobs, and by paying them less, they could hire tons of graduates for peanuts. And the K.T. Ramarao, the so-called urban development minister, saw this as an opportunity and projected it as his government's achievement. Because of him, he projected that those IT firms and firms like Google and Amazon and Microsoft were setting offices because he was there in office. But the truth was something different. Each and every development in and around Hyderabad was drafted, incorporated, and projected for real estate only. Each and everything which they called development in last 9 years were incorporated and developed solely to develop real estate around that investment. Everything was pre-planned, everything was pre-bought, everything was pre-sold to the IT population without any groundwork, practical groundwork being done by the government. What the government did was, it showed a piece of land which can be bought by the IT firms, which were developed in advance by hand-in-glove approach of the government with the private real estate players. The last regime of BRS government, especially KTR, who handled the urban development minister's portfolio, virtually got percentages from the real estate firms every day. The lawlessness was such that whole lakes, ponds, even a small river tributaries were filled up, were diverted, were occupied and legalized during his regime. The regime has grown its tentacles to such an extent that the whole state was known only for real estate returns. Basically, the percentage of population who made money on real estate were hardly 2 to 5%. But the projection was such that they made to believe that a normal person who invests in Hyderabad real estate got multi-fold returns by just blindly putting their money anywhere around Hyderabad. The strategy got initial boost from Telugu NRIs, who were blinded by the rate of returns and started pumping money into Hyderabad's real estate. Now the state of Hyderabad is such that each and every development which they projected as a welfare-based development was targeted only for real estate. Airport was projected as a real estate asset. The whole West Hyderabad, which was rocky, and lacked water in it. Water, scarcity of water is acute in West Hyderabad. Still, that area was developed as IT and financial hub because decades before this plan was hashed, they have bought thousands of acres of this rocky land for peanuts. And projecting that as an IT hub and a financial district, they have virtually looted public's money by sheer gimmick. The best example is auction of Kokapet lands, which virtually reached 100 crore mark per acre. At the time of auction, the Kokapet lands were in the range of 15 to 25 crores. But by manipulative tactics, the BRS regime have conducted an auction where they have planted their own people in auction and inflated the price to a level where a normal builder could not afford. When the Kokapet auction becomes successful, they saw a gold mine in Hyderabad real estate. The Kokapet auction gave a free for all to the real estate people to go ahead, occupy properties, get the government required permission within 3 days, go ahead with their building plans without any hiccups. In the form of single window system created by KTR himself, he made sure all the illegal properties got clearance in 3 days flat. Each and every developer had a percentage to share with KTR to get his project sanctioned. So naturally KTR had his percentage in Hyderabad's growth. He made billions by just projecting his power and his hold in the government. The whole PR exercise exercised by KTR has grown to such a level that it looked as if the Hyderabad has surpassed a city like New York, Dallas, or even Moscow. In the last lap, they have projected that the city is growing on par with some German states and even England. And the PR exercise was out of the world. They have hired a well-known architects, well-known PR agencies to project Hyderabad as if it is surpassing most of the developed nations' cities. But practically, on ground, the native population didn't have enough money to buy their first house. They didn't have even money to buy a single bedroom flat for themselves. The ground situation was pathetic, and the projections in the social media and the mainstream media and the government circles and the real estate circles was such that they have broken all records of falsifying the information that any state could do for its city. Most of the investor community of Mumbai, Gurgaon, Delhi and Gujarat and even Bangalore and Chennai got envy of so-called the PR exercise that the state has executed in last 9 years. They could not match the Hyderabad's PR exercise. But on ground reality, they knew that something was going burst in the near future. But the population who are not willing to accept this PR exercise could not prove on ground that something is fishy. Only channel like Manchimargam had guts to reveal the hidden agenda behind this PR exercise. Manchimargam has been fighting for last 1.5 years to prove that the PR exercise exercised by the last regime was a bubble ready to burst. The beauty of PR in the last regime has forced the present regime to follow its footsteps. Now the present regime is desperate to prove that it is on right side of real estate, but it is duty bound to prove that last regime has approved projects which were nefarious in nature, which are illegal in nature, which are immoral in nature, and the new regime has his hands full in proving that last regime was wrong, and now they were on right side of real estate. But the present government should know and should be clear about this thing. Both things cannot go hand in hand until the last regime's crimes are wiped out. If you keep the crimes open, if you keep the illegal books open on one hand, and if you want to promote a crystal clear or clean real estate, both things will not happen hand in hand. Only one thing can go ahead. That is, if you want to continue the last regime's way of doing things, you can do it. It's very easy. Doing illegal things is fairly easy in India. That the last regime has easily proved. And if the new regime wants to take up some action on last regime's crimes, it has to clean its table first before placing new orders on the table or the new things on the table. It has to clean the old mess first, and it is doing it. But what I feel, that the native Muslim population have become scapegoats of the last government's regime, which falsified its data and seduced the last, what I call a last PR exercise, last time's PR exercise, which made even a Muslim population believe that their state is going by leaps and bounds. They have projected in the PR exercise, it is better to invest in Hyderabad rather investing in Dubai. Means they have projected Hyderabad in such a way that the people who have migrated to Dubai believe that Hyderabad is better than Dubai. But practically, now if you see, most of the people who are native investors of India are investing in Dubai. Because it is fairly easy tax-wise, investing-wise, and return-wise, it is fairly easy to invest in Dubai than investing in India. But what the last regime did was, it seduced the native Muslim population which migrated to Gulf countries to invest back in Hyderabad. But what the Muslim population, which strongly believed in investing in halal, got to invest, what they were made to invest in harami properties in and around Hyderabad. Thousands of innocent Muslim population were seduced to invest their hard-earned money that they accumulated by doing hard work for 16 to 18 hours, working like dogs in Gulf countries, were made to invest into harami properties in and around Hyderabad. Most of the new Muslim population were made to believe that the population of Hyderabad is growing leaps and bounds, and if they come after 10 and 15 years to invest in Hyderabad, they will not get even a foot of land to invest. Such was the PR exercise. And the innocent Gulf people, or the native Indians who migrated to Gulf seeking or jobs, invested the hard-earned money in the form of plots in and around Hyderabad, which were illegal in nature. Now, on daily basis, there are a lot of cases, especially of Gulf NRIs who have invested in and around Hyderabad, are getting raw deals. Most of the Gulf people who had accumulated enough money have bought rows of plots. Like, for example, there is a row. He has bought 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Whole stretch of that row with his money, hard-earned money. But when he has come back to India to check his properties, that row itself is missing. He has found that land belongs to a agriculture family, not to a owner of a layout. After coming back to India and checking practically about his properties, they are getting raw deal. Most of the Gulf population who have invested even in high rises are worried a lot due to the hydro operations. They are clueless. Their money, hard-earned money, was siphoned off with a beautiful PR exercise done by the last regime. Everyone were made to believe that they'll make 300% profit by just investing in and around Hyderabad. Such a horrible mess. Now still, the hunger to seduce has not died down. Now still that same PR exercise is going on. Now the still same method is being adopted by real estate guys to seduce investments into real estate in and around Hyderabad. IT minister is announcing projects just to boost real estate. Industries minister is announcing investments just to boost real estate. Finance minister is busy pampering the real estate people. Even though chief minister is reluctant, but still he has a lot to say about positive about real estate. Means the whole government machinery was running for real estate, and the new regime is being forced to talk about real estate. The things are going from worse to horrible. Next, it will be a situation, we are going to see a situation where the entire investment will be wiped out without trace in and around Hyderabad. I want to say one final word for people of Gulf who have spent a lot of time and years earning valuable foreign exchange, and the people of North India. Stop believing the fake bubble story of Hyderabad, at least now. This is a wake-up call. I have made 750 plus videos in my channel in Telugu language to educate local people. But I am making this video especially for North Indian and Gulf population. Stop investing now in real estate in and around Hyderabad. Save your money in banks. Save it for next 3 to 4 years. Opportunities will come only after 3 to 4 years when the regime stabilizes and the prices become practical in and around Hyderabad. Once they become practical, you start investing. But until then, have patience. Stop investing now. Wait for the right opportunity. Let the things become ripe. When the things become practical and sensible, invest in Hyderabad. Until then, stop investment, save in some banking instruments. When the right time arrives, Manchi Margam is the channel which will inform you in advance that the good things are coming and the time is right to invest into Hyderabad's real estate. Until then, keep watching Manchi Margam channel. Namaste.